This is the plaintiff, Paulette Williams. She says she rented an apartment from the defendant, and it turned out to be infested with mice. That's right, mice and rodents had the run of the place. The defendant did nothing to rectify the situation, and she got out of there lickety-split. Now the nasty defendant refuses to return her security, and she's taking him to court today for the $5,000 she's owed. This is the defendant, Ray Bakchi. He says the plaintiff complained there was a mouse in the apartment he rented her, and that very same day a moving van arrived and she moved out. He thinks the woman changed her mind about living in the apartment because it was located near a bar, and she's looking for a scapegoat to get out of her lease. Oh, her? No way. He's accused of Mickey Mousing around with a tenant.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff says the place she rented from the defendant was overrun with mice. But the defendant says it was one mouse. Big deal. It's the case of the mouse house.
Thank you, Douglas. Paulette Williams. Yes. You are suing Ray Bakchi?
Correct.
Okay. You are suing Mr. Bakchi's company for $5,000. $1,250 of it, the amount you say he owes you for a security deposit that he's wrongfully withholding, and the rest for pain and suffering for making you fight for it.
Yes,
All
Your
right,
Honor.
tell me what's going on.
I moved into the defendant's apartment the first week of February. I signed the lease.
This year?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
The first weekend of stay there, I noticed on a Friday night that there was constant noise going on below my bedroom window. Then I just thought some people was talking because the building is in like a commercial area right across from a train station. So I said, okay. Then the noise got louder during the night. We're talking 1, 2 a.m. in the morning. Began cursing and yelling, and I heard bottles breaking. And I realized, oh my goodness, there is a patio attached to the building and it belongs to the bar.
To what bar?
To the bar that is located on the far end of the commercial area. So
you were renting next to a bar?
Exact. Well, no, I was
I mean, you have eyeballs. There's a window. They're right there. That's what you're hearing. Mm-hmm. And those same eyeballs were screwed into your eye sockets when you looked at the apartment and loved it for its central location. Mm-hmm. But, you kind of give up a little bit of centrality for a little bit of privacy and quiet. I mean, that's not... it's not a surprise you were renting next to a bar.
Well, no, but the bar was on the far end of the construction.
The bar didn't move after you moved
No,
in.
it did not. It did not. However, I was above a convenience store.
Okay.
The bar had an attachment of a patio on the back.
When you had looked at the apartment, you had opened your eyes,
yes,
you would have seen out the window. It wasn't hidden from you.
The patio was.
How was the patio hidden from you?
When you look out the window of the bedroom apartment, which I was in the rear, you just see an alleyway. You don't see the patio. You have to physically look down.
What prevented you from physically looking down?
Well, when you, look down to the side, and it's almost like you, I have the photos.
I'm dying to see the photos.
Yeah.
Okay, so go on. So there was lots of noise coming from the bar.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. So here, just so we're clear, this is your window.
Correct.
And this is the patio.
The patio, which is enclosed, and you can't see.
Just go like that.
Okay. You don't see it. It's closed.
All right, I got you. All right, go on.
I let that weekend go because I thought maybe it was just a party and so forth and so on. The noise got so bad, where a woman was actually crying and sounded as though she was intoxicated, that I began crying. It was just so much noise. I just couldn't rest. I couldn't do anything.
Did you ever call the police for a noise violation?
I called the police.
Okay.
About 6 a.m., the noise stopped. The next weekend, the noise proceeded again. I sent a text message to the defendant, and I told him, I am paying him $12.50 a month. Can he please do something? Help me. I didn't move here to leave.
So just out of curiosity, have you ever had this problem before where people could say the window's super close to the patio? You've never had anybody complain about this before?
This apartment is in front of a train station. Do you know how much noise there is to begin with?
Right. So the kind of people who sleep there are not people like me, who need to have complete quiet
Absolutely
to be able to
not.
sleep. There are some people who are so used to city noises when they sleep that if they go anywhere in the country, they think that they're about to be massacred by some, So, how many mice does it take
to find in an apartment before the tenant can say, I am out of here and I want my security back?
1.
1 mouse. Well, that can happen though, right?
Depending on the hygiene of the person.
1 mouse and you're out.
Yeah.
Okay, sir?
So if you see more than 1, maybe 2 or 3. 1 could be coming from the other apartment and you get to get a exterminator. So I say maybe 2 or 3.
So you're saying, okay, how many before a tenant can bail and say, I want my security back even in the middle of a lease?
Well, I think they would have to give them a chance to exterminate first. And if they...
Okay, but you got to give me a number.
Okay, 1.
Well, then that's not giving them a chance to exterminate, going inside the courtroom.
Okay, so when do you tell them that you're going to leave?
The defendant said that he would meet me on the 24th of April because I also complained to him that there were gaping air was coming through the exposed brick in the apartment. My electric bill had doubled. I was freezing. I had asthma, and I needed him. If he didn't have a handy person, I would personally get someone. I could not stay in the cool apartment.
Okay, it's almost May. So I need to see proof of the 6 things you said in that sentence. Number 1, do you have pictures of gaping holes?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I don't see the holes, so I'm going to need you to come here and point out the holes to me.
Your Honor, there are no holes there.
I didn't ask you. All right, can you show me where the gaping holes are?
Cracks, Your Honor, cracks all over here. It's just...
I'm not seeing any cracks, so I need you to specifically show me the crack.
Over here, over here.
You said gaping holes. I don't even see them in the pictures. Is there another picture that might show it better?
Those are the pictures that I took. There's one of the air conditioner. You could see where I taped it all up here. This is all open.
What does "this is all open" mean? Because I don't see it open, so I need to know what you mean.
All this here is just cracked open. It's a big opening.
Can I see a picture of that? Because I'm not seeing it in this picture. Do you see it in this picture?
I just see the area that I know that the air was coming through.
But you understand why I don't see it?
Yeah, I understand,
okay.
yes.
Do you understand why I don't see any cracks in these pictures too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't show cracks.
Right,
okay.
Right. The picture that I took is not that visible.
How come if there's cracks coming through there and you lived there since February, why wasn't that a complaint you made in February? You see, I have to be careful that what's happening isn't that it's just the whole bar thing. Go ahead and go back there. So according to you, these cracks caused mice to come in?
I don't know where the mice came from. I do know that my gas bill tripled.
Okay, do you have your gas bill?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
How did your gas bill triple?
I guess
the bills you're showing me don't show a tripling of a gas bill.
From the 25 days, it went from 30, do you have the 34, all the way to 68.
No, it didn't.
In 25 days?
No, it didn't.
You have the...
Actually, it went from 32 to 54. That is not tripling.
Wait a minute, I have another one.
All right, tell me about the mice. You have pictures. Do you have pictures of the mice?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No.
So you think she's making all this stuff up because of the bar issue?
Your Honor, there was no mice. There's never been mice in this apartment.
Okay.
I even brought an exterminator to make sure.
And what's the $3,750 for pain and suffering?
Your Honor, since my moving out, well, witnessing these mice.
The mice you don't have any proof of?
I have a witness that saw them.
Okay,
I did not take a picture.
Are you a witness? Okay, come on up. What's your name?
Nikita.
And what's your last name?
Ellis.
Okay, and what is your relationship to her?
She's my daughter.
I'm her daughter.
Okay, go ahead, talk to me.
My mom called me hysterical because she has a fear of mice and she has allergies and asthma. So I went there to go see what's going on. And she was already packing because I witnessed 3 mice. So when I was...
So she had already decided to leave?
Yeah, she already had things...
Can I... you said that I haven't seen text, so do you have text?
Yes, I have text, but I actually wanted to go over these texts with you.
Thank you. It's on April 23rd. You send by text. When did she move out?
The 24th,
right.
According to her text.
You send texts of what you purport to be proof of cracks, which is the same pictures I saw in here tomorrow.
And Your Honor, may I say?
I am officially, on the 24th is the day you move out, and that's the first time that there's a text saying, I am officially moving out of this mice-infested apartment today. Do you have text that would show that you brought a mice issue to him beforehand?
No, I've never witnessed a mice issue.
No. I mean, as soon as you witness a mice issue, here's the thing. So the obligation of the landlord is to make sure that your place isn't mice infested.
Right.
So when a tenant tells the landlord, we have mice, then the landlord, if he's sitting on his hands and doesn't bother to call the exterminator because he's lazy or he's cheap or whatever else, then we talk about how the place is unlivable. But I'm looking at all the text between you two, and the first time the word mice is mentioned is the day you've already decided to move out. So do you have any text or any proof that you alerted him to a mice issue before you decided to move out? No, because she didn't. No. Right?
Absolutely not.
Because it's about the bar, guys. It's all about the bar. And here's where the problem lies. I know you think it's rude of him to tell you, hey, you have eyeballs. And you probably think it's rude of me to tell you that, but you rented in an area that has businesses around it. And all of this is about your security deposit, because his feeling is that you did not give him sufficient notice to move out. In fact, you were under a lease, right?
Yes.
Now, you mitigated your damages and you found somebody else to live there.
Correct.
What day did that person start living there?
June 1st.
Okay. Do you have the lease from that person with you?
No.
Okay. Now, according to you, that person moved in May 15th.
Correct.
Says who? How did?
The realtor who he had, the defendant.
Okay, do you have any proof of that? A landlord has to mitigate their damages. They can't get rent twice. So if you have proof that he re-rented it on May 15th, then you would be, you have no proof.
No.
Yeah, this is a proof problem.
No, all I have is just, it's hearsay.
All right, so the $1,250 of security was used to cover May rent.
Correct, Your
And
Honor.
the person who has moved in there, have they complained about the noise?
No. I texted him and see, is your electric on and gas? He said everything is fine.
Okay, fabulous.
It's a disgrace coming to a courtroom and just lying, outright lying. And thank God to iPhones that we have text service and everything that I can produce this stuff to you. If not, you'd be in doubt with me today.
Not really. But yes, what you're saying is correct. The texts and emails and the fact that everyone in this world lives their lives so publicly has really helped us judges out. Your Facebook pages, the stuff you end up saying that you don't realize, say it, forget it, write it, regret it. Yes, it's been a great tool for us. But this is an age-old issue that my eyes and mind are very keen to. So I watch to see what has been the history of complaint in a situation like this, and then what the ultimate complaint is, because people realize that the history of complaint, the real problem, won't get their money back. Now, please don't misunderstand me. If I was in your shoes, I'd want to move too. The question is not should you move. I am the lightest sleeper on the planet. I will move when I go into a hotel room, I often don't stay in like 50% of the time, I don't stay with the first room. So I sympathize with what you're saying. That would make me nuts. But see, sometimes the things that we have to do for ourselves don't cost somebody else. And that's what this lawsuit is about. Should it cost you or should it cost somebody else? It's not going to cost somebody else. Great move on your part, but it's going to cost you. Verdict for the defendant. Good luck, folks.
God bless you, John. Thank you.
So the plaintiff fails to prove to the judge that she deserves to recover. Ms. Williams has just come out of the courtroom. How do you feel about what the judge just decided?
Well, I have no feelings about it. I have no feelings.
Well, you have to have some.
Well, I mean...
You're got to be upset.
No, I'm not upset. It's just, I am a homeowner, and it's unfortunate that a good tenant has to be buried like this.
He said you weren't being truthful, were you?
I was being very truthful.
Well, I'm sorry. You didn't convince the judge, and that's the way it goes sometimes. You must sign some documents with our bailiff. Now, Mr. Bakshi's on his way out of the courtroom. I guess you feel better.
I came here just to prove that that tenants cannot just get away with everything. This is a case of a tenant who basically thought that they're going to have a free trial and they can have their money back.
Yeah.
They signed a binding agreement, a lease, and they were on the hook for it.
Okay.
So she was looking for a scapegoat because she was a light sleeper. Maybe she should see a doctor while she gets her eyes examined and get some sleeping medication, too.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Harvey?
Okay, Doug, there is something in the law called a warranty of habitability. It's been around as long as you, Doug. And what that means is this, that an apartment has to be reasonably safe and healthy for a tenant. And if there's a fundamental breach of either of those, even if that's not in the lease, the tenant has all sorts of remedies, including withholding rent and possibly even terminating the lease.